students, good morning. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 3rd, that is the morphology of reproductive parts. Reproductive parts, that is the flower. Okay. So flower, it is defined as the highly condensed. It is highly condensed. Condensed means short. Okay, so it is highly condensed and modified shoot. Modified shoot. Shoot means the stem, okay, or the branch. So it get modified than the normal branch. So it is the modified shoot of limited growth. Shoot of limited growth, which are specialized for the sexual reproduction. Specialized for the sexual reproduction. Okay. So the flowers, they are defined as the highly condensed and modified shoot of limited growth specialized for the sexual reproduction, or it can also define as the shoot of limited growth. The shoot of limited growth that performing the function of reproduction. That performing the function of reproduction. Okay. The shoot of limited growth that performing the function of reproduction, it is known as the flower. Okay. The flower is the most important part of the angiospermic plants. In most of the plants, they are the conspicuous. In most of the plants, they are conspicuous. Conspicuous means large and the attractive. Okay. And they are specialized for the reproduction. So after the fertilization, so what happens for the flower parts, or particularly the gynoecium, it develops into the fruit and the seeds. Okay. So that organ which is conspicuous in most of the plants, in which after the pollination and fertilization, the flower or the gynoecium, it turns into fruits and seeds. So such parts, they are known as the flower. Okay. So it is the definition of the flower. Then the parts of the flower. The parts of flower. Okay. So the typical flower, it has the two parts. The number one, that is the floral axis, and second, that is the floral leaves. Okay. So the typical flower, it has the two parts, floral axis and the floral leaves. Okay. So the floral axis means it is the shoot, or it is the part of the shoot. ही या ठिकाणी एक आपण ब्रांच म्हणतो किंवा फांदी, तर या ठिकाणी ही जी आहे तर त्या ठिकाणी ही शूटच आहे, इलॉंगेटेड शूटच आहे. सो दॅट फ्लोरल ॲक्सिस, इट इज द ॲक्सिस ऑफ द shoot. Okay. Then it has the floral axis, it has a small leaf-like structure that is associated with the flower, and that is called as the bracts. So on this axis, floral axis, it is the floral axis. Okay. Floral axis, it is the shoot. It is the floral axis, it is the shoot. Okay. Axis of the shoot, on which there is a small leaf-like structure that is known as the bract, and sometimes there may be the pair of leaf-like structures are present, and that are known as the bracteoles. that are known as the bracteoles. So it is the bract and these are the bracteoles. So bract sometime it may be small green or sometime it may be the large conspicuous. Okay. फॉर एक्झाम्पल बोगनवेलिया कागदी फुलाचं झाड जर आपण पाहिलं त्याच्यामध्ये लार्ज आपल्याला गुलाबी रंगाची जी मागे पेटर्न सारखं दिसतं ऍक्च्युअली दॅट इज द ब्रॅक्ट. ओके. तर त्या ठिकाणी आपण जर पाहिलं तर त्या ठिकाणी त्याच्या ऍक्सिस मध्ये ऍक्सिसच्या मागून असे त्या ठिकाणी पूर्ण ती लाल रंगाची ब्रॅक्ट असते आणि त्या ठिकाणी त्या ऍक्सिसवर त्या ठिकाणी येते त्या ठिकाणी फ्लावर्स जे ते अरेंज झालेले असतात. ओके. So he काय असते ब्रॅक्ट. ओके. So it is the axis of the shoot that is known as the floral axis on which a single leaf is present, that is leaf-like structure, that is known as the bract, and the there are the pair of leaf-like structures, they are known as the bracteoles. Okay. Pair of pair of the calyx-like or leaf-like structure, they are known as the bracteoles. Okay. So when the pedicel is present, the flower is known as the pedicellate. The flower is known as pedicellate. The pedicellate means the flower with stalk. It is the flower with stalk. Okay. And sometimes this pedicel it may be absent, so that is known as the sessile. Okay, that is known as the sessile. And such flowers, they are without stalk, they are the sessile. Example, the flowers without stalk. Okay, so example of pedicellate flower, it is the hibiscus. हिबिस्कसच्या फुलाला त्या ठिकाणी दांडा दिसतो. ओके. आणि सेसाइल फ्लावर्स एक्झाम्पल निशिगंध, दॅट इज ट्यूबरोज. ओके. त्या ठिकाणी काय असतं स्टॉक त्या ठिकाणी फ्लावरला नसतो. ओके. सो इट इज द पेडिसेल. ओके. पेडिसेलचे या ठिकाणी हे फ्लोरल ऍक्सिस, तो फ्लोरल ऍक्सिसचा हा जो शूट लाईक ऍक्सिस असतो, दॅट ऍक्सिस इज नोन ॲज द फ्लोरल ऍक्सिस और इट इज ऑल्सो नोन ॲज द पेडिसेल. It is known as the pedicel. Okay. Floral axis चे त्या ठिकाणी दोन भाग पडतात. A that is the pedicel and B that is the thalamus. Okay. So pedicel means it is the floral axis or it is the shoot. Okay. On which the bract and bracteoles are present. Then on the pedicel or tip of the pedicel, it is slightly swollen. Okay, tip of the pedicel, it is slightly swollen, on which there are the nodes and internodes are present. Okay, so there are such swollen tip of the flower, they are known as the thalamus. They are known as the thalamus, on which the calyx, corolla, androsium and gynosium are present. Okay. So this swollen tip of this stalk, that is known as the pedicel. So it is known as the thalamus or it is also known as the torus or receptacle. Okay, this thalamus is also known as torus or receptacle. This torus or receptacle, they have the different shapes. Okay, what are the different shapes? They may be the conical type or they may be the elongated. Okay, they may be the elongated or they may be the disc-like. They may be the disc-like or they may be the flat or they may be the concave or they may be the convex. Okay, so these are the different shape of the thalamus. Okay, they may be the conical in the anona. किंवा आपण सीताफळ वगैरे बघितलं तर त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला असं कोनिकल किंवा या ठिकाणी मध्ये सेंटरला जेव्हा ते फ्रूट पाहतो आपण तर या ठिकाणी अशा पद्धतीने याच्यावर हे सगळे फ्लावर्स जे ते अरेंज झालेले आपल्याला दिसतात. ओके. किंवा मग या ठिकाणी असं इलॉंगेटेड त्या ठिकाणी सेंटर पर्यंत त्या ठिकाणी असलेला तर या ठिकाणी हा सीताफळामध्ये अॅनोनामध्ये ओके इलॉंगेटेड हा जो आहे मायकेलिया किंवा चंपका सोनचाफा ज्याला आपण म्हणतो हा मायकेलिया मध्ये दिसतो. हा अॅनोना मध्ये दिसतो. ओके. असं जर या ठिकाणी आपण हे जर पाहिलं कुठला डिस्क लाईट तर असा हा सिट्रस मध्ये दिसतो. त्याच्यानंतर या ठिकाणी फ्लॅट असा हा लोटस मध्ये दिसतो. कप शेप या ठिकाणी हा रोज मध्ये दिसतो. ओके. सो these are the different shapes of the thalamus. Okay. So this receptacle sometimes enlarges into the axis. Okay. Sometimes this receptacle, this thalamus, it elongates. Okay. Sometimes this thalamus it gets elongated and this receptacle it enlarges into axis and to which the pistils are attached. Pistils म्हणजे काय की जे गायनोशियम असतं त्या ठिकाणी तर ते त्या ठिकाणी त्या इलॉंगेटेड ॲक्सिसला त्या ठिकाणी अटॅच असतात. म्हणजे दिस थॅलमस इट इज ॲज लाईक अ इलॉंगेटेड ॲक्सिस to which this gynosium or these pistils they are attached and at the maturity this gynosium it gets separated with the help of this stalk. Okay, and such stalk it is known as the carpophore. Carpophore. Okay. जर धन्यामध्ये आपण बघितलं किंवा मग या ठिकाणी सदाफुलीच्या याच्यामध्ये जरी आपण पाहिलं तर या ठिकाणी आपल्याला काय दिसतं तर या ठिकाणी इट इज इन कोरिअँडर or in the vincarosia such types of carpophores are present. म्हणजे इथे काय होतं हा थॅलमस हा इलॉंगेट होऊन ॲक्सिस सारखा होतो ज्याला त्या ठिकाणी पिस्टिल्स गायनोशियम जे ते अटॅच होतात आणि त्याच्यामुळे काय होतं हा इलॉंगेटेड स्टॉक त्याला अटॅच असतो आणि मॅच्युरिटीला या ठिकाणी हे फ्रुट्स जे ते सेपरेट होतात आणि त्या ठिकाणी हा जो अटॅच स्टॉक असतो दॅट स्टॉक इज नोन ॲज द कार्पोफोर. ओके. Now back to the thalamus. So on this thalamus, the next floral parts or the floral leaves they are attached. Okay. Or this thalamus it has the nodes and internodes on it. Nodes आपण जनरली स्टेम वर पाहतो की या ठिकाणी नोड्स आणि हे जे आहे ते इंटरनोड आणि दिस रिजन इज द node. Okay, this region is the internode. That means the distance between two nodes it is known as the internode. Okay, तर हा जो भाग आहे internode आणि हा जो आहे हा जो भाग so that is the node. Okay, तर या ठिकाणी स्टेम मध्ये जेव्हा आपण पाहतो in the stem these nodes and internodes they are quite apart from each other, but the flower it is a highly condensed modified shoot. Okay, and therefore on the thalamus these nodes and internodes they are very near to each other, highly compressed. Okay, and therefore it is known as or highly condensed and therefore it is known as the condensed sheet. Okay, thalamus. So it is the floral axis which have the two parts, the pedicel and the second that is the thalamus. Okay, second that is the thalamus. So on the thalamus the floral leaves are attached. Okay, floral leaves are attached. We will draw here a figure. So the floral leaves, okay, let's say there will be the calyx, okay, then Corolla, okay, then Androsium, and this central that is the gynosium. Okay, So these are the floral leaves. Okay. So it is the calyx, the second that is corolla, it is androsium, and the central that is known as the gynosia. Okay, so these are the different floral whorls. Okay, so floral axis, it has the pedicel and thalamus. Similarly, the floral leaves, they have the calyx, it is the outermost, then corolla, then androsium, and then gynosia. Okay, so when we move from out to in, outside to inner side. Okay, so there is the outer side, there is a calyx, then very near to the calyx there is the corolla, but they are the separate whorl. Okay, whorl म्हणजे काय, जर आपण असं गोल कन्सिडर केला तर कॅलिक्सचा सेपरेट गोल, करोलाचा सेपरेट गोल, अँड्रोशियमचा सेपरेट गोल आणि गायनोशियमचा सेपरेट. तर त्या ठिकाणी they are known as the whorls. ओके, दे आर नोन ॲज अ वर्ल्स. वर्ल्स म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी ते गोल. तर त्या ठिकाणी जे नोड्स असतात ऑन दॅट नोड्स. ओके, तर या ठिकाणी आपण इथे असं ड्रॉ करू शकतो ह्याच्यावर. सो द आउटर मोस्ट दॅट इज द कॅलिक्स. ओके, करोला, अँड्रोशियम, गायनोशियम. ओके, so these are the different whorls of these floral leaves: calyx, corolla, androsium, and gynoecium. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. Okay, so first of all, the calyx. The calyx means what? It is the outermost whorl. The calyx is the outermost whorl. So the calyx is the outermost whorl. It is the outermost whorl. Okay, so each part of this floral whorl, or each leaf of this floral whorl, is known as the sepal. म्हणजे जर या ठिकाणी जर आपण पाहिलं, या ठिकाणी हे थॅलामसवर, या ठिकाणी सपोज या थॅलामसवर या ठिकाणी हे 1 2 3 4 5. ओके, हे जर त्या ठिकाणी 5 कॅलिक्स आहेत. ओके, तर या ठिकाणी हा जो आहे, द कंप्लीट whorl इज नोन ॲज द कॅलिक्स. ओके, बट द सिंगल पेटल or the single leaf, it is known as the सेपल. एका सिंगल युनिटला आपण काय म्हणू, सेपल म्हणतो. ओके, पण हे कंप्लीट whorl जो आहे त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, कॅलिक्स. द कंप्लीट whorl इज नोन ॲज द कॅलिक्स अँड वन ऑफ द सेगमेंट ऑफ दिस कॅलिक्स इज नोन ॲज द सेपल. ओके, द सेपल मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम they are leafy or leaf like and green. Okay, but sometimes these sepals it get modified into colored and the large size. Okay, but mostly they are leaf like and green. So what is the function of calyx? It is to protect, the function is to protect the inner whorl. To protect the inner whorl. The inner whorl कुठले, तर या ठिकाणी करोला, अँड्रोशियम अँड गायनोशियम. सो इन बर्ड कंडिशन जर आपण या ठिकाणी पाहिलं, इन बर्ड कंडिशन दिस कॅलिक्स इज कवर्ड द होल बर्ड. That means in bud condition this calyx is protects its inner whorl, corolla, androsium and gynoecium. Okay, so the function of calyx is to protect the inner whorl. Okay, then the next word that is known as the corolla. The next one that is known as the corolla. The corolla means what? On this thalamus. Okay. So the lowermost node on which the sepals are arranged, and the upper node म्हणजे या ठिकाणी जर आपण असा थॅलमस इथे जर थॅलमस आपण असा ड्रॉ केला तर या ठिकाणी हा लोअर मोस्ट नोड ज्याच्यावर त्या ठिकाणी कॅलिक्स, त्याच्या या ठिकाणी सेकंड वॉल जो एकदम जवळ आहे हायली कंडेन्स, ज्याच्यावर त्या ठिकाणी काय आहे ऑन विच देयर इज अ करोला. ओके. सो द नेक्स्ट वॉल that is okay, so it is known as the corolla. So the single segment of this corolla is known as the petal. Okay, म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी त्यातला एक सेगमेंट जो असतो त्या पूर्ण वरचा त्याला आपण पेटल म्हणतो. So number of petals they form the corolla. Just number of sepals they form the calyx. Similarly, the number of petals they form the corolla. Okay, corolla whorl. मग या ठिकाणी corolla whorl चे characteristic feature काय? They are large, conspicuous, and they are attractive. Generally, they are large, conspicuous. Conspicuous म्हणजे ठळकपणे उठून दिसणारे, and attractive and colored. Variety of the colors this corolla they have. Okay, so it is to attract the insects for pollination. It is to attract the insects for pollination. Okay, म्हणजे पॉलिनेशन होण्यासाठी त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला माहिती आहे पॉलिनेशन. सो पॉलिनेशन होण्यासाठी त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं की इन्सेक्ट्सला अट्रॅक्ट करावं लागतं. टू अट्रॅक्ट द इन्सेक्ट्स फॉर द पॉलिनेशन the corolla they are large, conspicuous, attractive and colors. Okay, as well as this corolla it protects the inner wall. बरोबर. या ठिकाणी हे जे इनर दोन वॉल राहतात अँड्रोशियम अँड गायनोशियम it attract the insects as well as protect inner wall. ओके, तर या ठिकाणी इनर वॉलला ते प्रोटेक्ट करतात. तर आता या ठिकाणी आपण पाहिलं की या ठिकाणी कॅलिक्स करोला. ओके, हे दोन वॉल आपण पाहिले. सो दिस टू वॉल्स दे आर नोन ॲज द नॉन इसेन्शियल वॉल. ओके, ह्या दोन वॉल कॅलिक्स आणि करोला याला काय म्हणायचं नॉन इसेन्शियल वॉल्स. ओके, आणि मग हे अँड्रोशियम आणि गायनोशियम याला काय म्हणायचं इसेन्शियल वॉल्स. ओके, मग याला नॉन इसेन्शियल आणि हे दोन इसेन्शियल का तर या ठिकाणी इव्हन द कॅलिक्स अँड करोला दे मे बी अपसेट, then also the reproduction takes place with the help of this male sex organ androsium and female sex organ gynosium. So for pollination and fertilization this androsium and gynosium they are necessary, therefore they are known as the essential whorls, while the calyx and corolla it performs the different functions, particularly the protection and the attraction of the insect. That means it gives the additional beauty and additional protection of the inner whorls. Okay, and therefore they are known as the non-essential whorls. त्याला काय म्हटलं जातं non-essential whorls. Okay, now the essential whorls. Okay, the essential whorls they are the androsium and gynosium. Okay, so we will erase some part here to draw the figures. Okay, Okay. Okay, the next word that is the Androsium, the essential word Androsium. Okay, so the Androsium, it is the third word. Okay, हा तिसरा बाहेरच्या बाजूने आपण जेव्हा मोजतो, first that is the calyx, second that is the corolla, and third one that is the Androsium. Okay, which is placed inside the corolla. Okay, corollaच्या आतमध्ये जो प्लेस झालेला असतो, so that is the third word. Okay, it is the third whorl and it is inside the corolla. It is also known as the male reproductive organ. It is known as the male reproductive organ. Okay. So this androsium is also the modified leaf. Okay. As it is also as like the calyx and corolla. They are the modified leaves. So similarly androsium is also modified leaf. Okay. So when we study the parts of the androsium, there are the three parts. The first, that is known as the long stalk, that is known as the filament. Okay, the long stalk, that is known as the filament. There is the extended part of this filament. Okay, so that part is known as the connective. That part is known as the connective, and to that connective the anther lobes, they are attached. Okay, the anther lobes, they are attached, and these bag like structures, they are known as the anthers. Okay, these are known as the anthers. Okay, so if we take the TS of this anther, जर आपण असं अँथरचं सेक्शन त्या ठिकाणी बघितलं, तर या ठिकाणी आपल्याला काय दिसतं, तर या ठिकाणी there are the two anther lobe. It is the one anther lobe, it is the second anther lobe. Each anther lobe, it has the central this connective. Okay, central connective, and each anther lobe, it has the two pollen sac. सेंटरला त्या ठिकाणी काय असतं, एका अँथर लोब मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी दोन लोब्स असतात, किंवा एका साइडच्या अँथरच्या बॅग मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी काय असतात, दोन लोब. देयर आर टू lobes, okay, or two bag like structures, and these bag like structures, they have the two lobes, they are joined by the connective. Okay, and these two anther lobes, they contain the two sac like structures that are known as the pollen sac. पोलन सॅक म्हणजे अँथरचा जर असा आपण असा टीएस घेतला तर आपल्याला अँथर कसा दिसेल, असा की त्या ठिकाणी चार लोब दिसत आहे, ज्याच्यामध्ये दोन अँथर लोब आहेत, ज्याच्यामध्ये प्रत्येक एका अँथर लोब मध्ये काय, देर आर टू पोलन सॅक्स. ओके, and inside the pollen sac there are the pollen grains are present. Okay, there are the cells which are known as the pollen mother cells, which on meiosis they produce the pollen grains. Okay, so it is the male sex organ. So these pollen grains, okay, each pollen grains, when they germinate, it form, this pollen grain will germinate, it produce the two male gametes. Okay, it is known as the pollen grain. Okay, the structure of it, actually externally it looks like the spiny structures or the different types of ornamentation, वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे डिझाईन्स आपल्याला दिसतात बाहेरून, पण इंटरनली काय असतं, दोन त्या ठिकाणी मेल गॅमेट्स त्या ठिकाणी. सो इट इज द पोलन ग्रेन, or we can say that it is the male gamete. Okay, it is the pollen grain, that means the mature pollen grain or germinated pollen grain or the male gamete, and it is the pollen grain. Okay, हा pollen grain externally असा असतो, इंटरनली ज्यावेळेस तो पोलन कम्प्लीट मॅच्युअर होतो, जर्मिनेट व्हायला लागतो, त्यावेळेस असे 2 सेल इंटरनली तयार होतात. त्याच्यामध्ये 2 त्या ठिकाणी मेल गॅमेट्स त्या ठिकाणी तयार होतात. सो इट इज द मेल गॅमेट. पोलन इट इज द मेल gamete. Okay, and therefore this androsium is known as the male sex organs or male reproductive parts of the flower. Okay, so the single segment of the androsium is known as the stamen. Is known as the stamen. Okay, म्हणजे या ठिकाणी सिंगल सेगमेंट जर असेल, फॉर एक्झाम्पल the single segment, it is a single segment, it is known as the stamen. But the complete whorl, that means if we draw, suppose it is the third, calyx, corolla, suppose calyx, then corolla, and on these stamens are present. So whorl of these stamens, there may be the number of such stamens. Okay, so whorl of this stamen, complete त्या ठिकाणी whorl जर असेल तर त्याला काय म्हणायचं, androsium. Okay, and the single segment is known as the stamen. Okay, single segment is known as the stamen. जसं आपण calyx मध्ये काय, calyx complete whorl ला म्हणतो आणि सिंगल सेगमेंटला आपण काय म्हणतो, सेपल. तसंच करोला मध्ये आपण काय म्हणतो, पेटल, आणि complete whorl ला corolla. The similarly androsium, the complete whorl is the androsium, and the single segment or single unit, it is known as the stamen. Okay, then the gynosium. The gynosium is the innermost whorl. Okay, the gynosium next, that is gynosium. Okay, so it is the innermost whorl. It is the innermost whorl, and it is the female reproductive part. It is the female reproductive part. Okay, so this gynosium, the single unit of this gynosium is known as the carpel. It is known as the carpel. Okay, so the complete whorl of the carpel is known as the gynosium. Okay, so the gynosium sometimes it may contain the single carpel or many carpels. These carpels, they may be united or they may be free. Okay, so the gynosium, it may contain the single carpel or many carpels. These carpels may be united or they may be free. Okay, so when we study the structure of the carpel or the structure of the gynosium, okay, so the gynosium, it has 3 parts. The basal swollen part, that is known as the ovary, inside which the ovule is present. Okay, the ovule, it may be single or many. Then it has the long tube-like structure inserted over this basal swollen part of the gynosium, that is known as the ovary. And so this tube-like structure which are inserted on the ovary, it is known as the style. It is known as the style. So this basal swollen part, ovary, and this tube inserted over the ovary, that is the style. And this lobe-like structure, or it is the receptive part, and that is known as the stigma. Okay, on this stigma the pollen grains, they may situated. Okay, so it is the this swollen part, it is known as the So this part, not swollen, it has a different shapes. Okay. So this receptive part, it is known as the stigma. So these three parts they produce. It is present generally. It may be present at the topmost position or outermost one of the thalamus. Okay. So it is the innermost wall. It is known as the female reproductive organ. This gynoecium is also known as the pistil. It is also known as pistil. Gynoecium is also known as pistil, and the single unit of the pistil is known as the carpel. Okay, single unit of this pistil is known as the carpel. So gynoecium or the pistil. Okay, and single unit of this pistil is known as the carpel. Okay, so inside the ovary there is the egg or the female gamete, or ovule is present. Inside the ovule there is the egg or the female gamete is present. Okay, so it is known as the female reproductive part. Okay, sometimes what happens, there is a one more terminology about the non-essential whorl, and that terminology is the perianth. It is the perianth. The perianth means what? When the calyx and corolla are indistinguishable. Indistinguishable means we cannot separate the calyx and corolla, or we cannot say that it is the calyx and it is the corolla. For example, the tuberose. Okay, निशिगंधामध्ये आपण असं म्हणू शकत नाही बाहेरचे 3 कॅलिक्स आणि आतले 3 करोला सगळे सारखेच दिसतात. So such conditions, they are no such calyx and corolla, they are indistinguishable, and such structures, they are known as the perianth. Okay, instead of they are known as the calyx and corolla, they are known as the perianth. So the single segment of perianth is known as the staple. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी, so number of these staples, they suppose it is the tuberose. Okay, so the single segment, it is known as the staple, and this complete whorl is known as the perianth. Okay, perianth. Then the next part, I hope you got the point. The next, that is the sexuality of flower. Sexuality of the flower. Okay, there are the certain terms related to the sexuality of the flower. The flower, they may be the complete or they may be the incomplete. Flower may be complete or they may be the incomplete. So the complete means they have all the 4 floral whorls. Okay, so all the 4 floral whorls, that is Calyx, Corolla, Androsium, Gynoecium, all these, when they are present, they are known as the complete flower. And when there is a absence or there may be the lack of one of it, so when there is one of the whorl may absent. Okay, one of the whorl may absent, so that is known as the incomplete flower. म्हणजे कुठलाही एक whorl त्यात absent असेल तर त्याला काय म्हणायचं? Incomplete flower. Okay, so according to this complete and incomplete, there are the particularly the 2 terms about the sexuality, that is the bisexual flower and the unisexual flower. Okay, the bisexual flower means what? when the flower it has both the sex organs or sexual organs, or we can say that they have the both sex organs like androsium and gynosium. Androsium and gynosium, both androsium and gynosium are present in the flower. Okay. So when both androsium gynosium they are present in the flower, that is known as the bisexual. And what is meant by unisexual? When only one sex organ is present. Only one sex organ is present. Okay. That there may be either androsium or maybe the gynosium. Okay. So when the androsium is present, when androsium is present, then such flowers they are known as staminate flower. They are known as the staminate flowers. And when the gynosium is present, then they are known as, the gynosium is known as the pistil. Okay. So they are known as the pistillate flower. So stamens are present, then staminate flower, pistil are present, then pistillate flower. Okay. So when the androsium is present, the gynosium is absent. Such unisexual flowers are known as the staminate. And when gynosium is present and the androsium is absent, then they are known as the female flowers. They are known as the pistillate flowers. Okay. But sometimes both they are absent and they are known as the neuter flower. Okay. They are known as the neuter. That is, both are absent. Male and female both sex organs they are absent. They are known as the neuter flowers. Okay. So there are the certain terms related to this sexuality of the flower, that is the bisexual and unisexual, and the terms they are these two terms are the number one monoecious. Okay. They are monoecious, and second that is dioecious. Okay. The mono means one. Okay. The mono means single. Osseous means the home. Okay. Mono means single and osseous means home. So when both the sex organs present in the same home, that is both sex organs in one flower or one home. Okay. So that bisexual flowers are known as the monoecious flowers. Okay. They are monoecious. Similarly, when the male and female they are live in another flowers, that is male flower, that means the plants they having the staminate flowers and the pistillate flowers. So they have the two house. Di means two and osseous means house. Okay. That means in two different houses the two different sex organs are present. That means they are the unisexual. When the flowers they are unisexual, and that condition is known as the dioecious. So when both sex organs or bisexual flowers are present, there is a term that monoecious, and when there is a unisexual flower, the term is dioecious. Okay. Then the symmetry of the flower. Okay. I hope you got the points. We will discuss the further part. We will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you very much.